Hi everyone, it's Kirei here for Hey Little Magpie, and I have another new layout using the Simple Stories Happy Travels collection. And I'm also using elements from the fabulous Hey Little Magpie July embellishment kit. Now this travel collection is perfect. If you've seen some of my previous videos, I am trying to get lots of photos scrapped from my recent trip when we went to the US to Nashville, Memphis, and New Orleans. And I have a list of about 25 layouts that I'd like to get done. So I'm working my way through that list. So this is another one. I've pulled out the pattern paper. It's called Where to Next. It's that sort of pinky peachy lined one. And I have 12 photos that I am going to sort of stack in 3 columns. And I'm going to put some gaps into each of the columns so I can add some embellishments later. So I'm just sort of working out. There you go. You can see one of the embellishments there. I'm just sort of going to add it in. I've just pulled out some of the pieces from the Hey Little Magpie, the new embellishment kits. You can find all the details for them over on the website, and you can sign up to a monthly subscription and you get lots of bits and pieces, which is fabulous. Like you get little trims, you might get some wax twine, you might get some cut aparts, and then there's lots of there could be charms, flowers, all sorts of bits and pieces, but they're great for just adding something extra to your layout over and above the standard sort of cardstock, ephemera, stickers, etc. And I love to add those little bits and pieces that are extra because I love the extra texture and dimension the different elements give as well. So you'll see those anyway as I work through the layout. Okay, so I've got my photos mounted onto that strip, and I'm just going to add another piece of pattern paper just over to the left side here. This is the one that is called 2x2 4x4 elements paper, and I'm just adding that over there on the left. And then what I'm doing here, before I stick the photo block down, I'm going to add some stenciling detail using one of the new Hey Little Magpie A5 stencils. And this one is called Distressed Shards. And I'm just going to add a little bit to the background there. So I'm not a massive mixed media scrapbooker, but I do like to, add elements to layouts. So whether it might be splatters, some stamping, a little bit of inking, a bit of stenciling. And I tend to use the stenciling just as a bit of background detail, lay it up behind either sort of title or clusters, that type of thing. So yes, I'm just bringing this one in here and I'm using the Distress Oxide. I've got 3 out, I couldn't quite decide. I did decide to go with the Tattered Rose, and I'm just working my ink on, building it up from that inner center and then fading it out to that outer edge there. So you'll see that's exactly what I'm doing. And usually with this, I've got my foam inking tool and I'm just starting from sort of the outer edges and blending out as I go. But I'm keeping the center a little bit heavier. I mean, to be honest, I'm probably going to end up covering a lot of this shortly. But anyway, that's because I like that sort of graduated effect. So yeah, just fading it out softly. Okay, there we go. That's all done now. And I can get my photo block stuck down. Now, in regards to photo sizes, I have been, and for quite a while, I have been using smaller photos, mainly because I end up taking so many, and I just don't scrapbook them. So what I've been doing, I mean, and I print from home, so there is I can obviously, work out what I want and print accordingly. I have a little Canon selfie printer. It's a little portable printer, which I've been using one for years, and I print all my photos on it. It's not the most economical, to be completely honest, but it works for me because it means I can print as I go and, print exactly what I want. So, but one of the options is you can print a standard sort of size. It's not quite 6x4, but you can print in a 2-up and then you can print 4-up. And that's what I've done here. I've printed what they call 4-up. which gives me these smaller size photos. And my photos are 1¾ inches by 2.5 inches approximately. They're close enough to that. And I print them, as I said, 4 up with borders. So on my selfie, but I do edit my photos in Photoshop first, and then I crop them to sort of either a 6x4 size or a square size, and then I print using the Canon selfie. And people use print in different ways on the selfie. They print via the app. I print via a USB key because I edit and do all my sort of photos and that on my laptop, and then I just transfer onto a key and into the selfie printer and then print from there. So yeah, it depends how you do it. So your photo sizes printing on the Canon selfie might vary depending on how you edit photos and also if you're using the app. So yeah, but anyway, my small photos are 1¾ inch by 2.5 inch, and as you can see, I've got 12 photos on a single layout, which is brilliant, and it's really gives me whole story around our visit to the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum in Nashville. And we're big fans of country music, so it was really, really cool going and seeing lots of different, the story of country music and where it started, but also just things, about your favourite artists. There was a lot there. So, everyone from sort of Dolly Parton to Luke Combs, and yeah, it was fabulous. So this just allows me to, scrap quite a lot of photos, and I've got my story down in one layout, and then I can sort of move on to the next thing. Okay, so I've been obviously adding embellishments. Some of these are ephemera from the that coordinate with obviously the Simple Stories Happy Travels ephemera. I've got here some of these fabric flowers, sort of knitted type flowers and leaves, are all from the Hey Little Magpie embellishment kit. It's the July kit. And but I have got that large round piece is a sticker that I bought when I was at the museum, and so is the guitar. And then I did have that sort of pin badge there as well, that I removed the pin part of it and then just added some foam pads so that it was flat flush at the back so I could get that stuck down. That little green bow, there's the little flowers, the little white sort of daisies at the very top. They're all from the Hey Little Magpie embellishment kit as well. The little yellow flowers. So yeah, so you can see, I just love adding those little bits and pieces. You might think, oh, well, what the flowers got to do with the museum? Well, actually nothing. But I just coordinate colours and work that into, the things that I'm, the paper collection that I'm working with. So I've got my title. I'm going to use these are the foam stickers, and I'm going to use the word discover. I'm bringing in the Doodlebug Alpha in, it's one of the oranges. I use one actually and then realise I'm missing a letter. So I actually take them off camera and use another orange. But yeah, so I'm going to have Discover Country Music, and then I'm going to add some journaling down to the bottom right of the layout. So yeah, you're going to see the close-ups in just a moment. I've used, as I said, lots of elements to add to my clusters from the Hey Little Magpie, the July embellishment kit, but also from the Simple Stories Happy Travels. I've used the ephemera, the cardstock stickers, foam stickers, and I do add some decorative brads as well. Okay, here we go. Here's the final layout. And here are some of the close-ups. You can see all of the detail. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you've been inspired to use these fabulous collections. See you again in my next video. Bye for now.